Hey guys, welcome back. Right, okay, as you can see, new angle. Yeah, I thought I'd try and change it up a little bit, and I've been watching some of my older videos and it inspired me to do a bit of an old school. I feel like the angle I had before, it was just too wide. I was using the wide angle lens on the camera and it was just too big, and yeah, you can see the TV and the consoles and all the bookshelves and stuff, but it's not intimate enough for me. I prefer the old days of when I used to just sit in front of my shelving like I am now, and you can look at my collection. Now, of course, not a lot here. I mean, this shelf is empty, mainly because I'm going to show you some games in a minute. So that shelf will look a bit better after this video. I've got my Xbox stuff. I've got all my PlayStation gear down here. I've got Atari down there, by the way. Haven't even talked about that at all on my channel. Evercade's in the living room now. I've moved that. I've moved my PS4 into the living room as well. So I've freed up a little bit of space on this shelving, thank God. But yeah, I thought the idea would be good, because if I do this, we can do what I used to do, where I sit in front of my collection, I talk to you directly, show you some games, tell you my thoughts on the games, and also over the coming months you can sit and watch my videos if you want to, and watch my collection grow and see all these shelves fill back up again. So that's the plan. So this is going to be a pickup video anyway, and you probably know that from the title, of course, but I've decided to get back into Nintendo cardboard. Now, obviously not Super Nintendo just yet. I've said before I would like to get a console, a Super Nintendo, this year at some point, if I can, because they are expensive. But in terms of the games, you're talking maybe late 24, beginning of next year, I don't know. I've been watching the prices over the years, and 2020 in the pandemic, the prices went sky high. They're starting to come back down now. I'm seeing Castlevania 4 coming back down to reasonable pricing again. Of course, some games are still very expensive. So I'm just going to keep my eye on the Super Nintendo and see what happens. And then hopefully the PAL snares will get to a point where I can start buying the games again. And if you guys want me to, let me know in the comments. I will start making pickup videos for Super Nintendo PAL and do, show you what I always do my Super Nintendo pickup, show you the box and all that. Do some gameplay if you want me to do that. I know there probably isn't much point of doing the gameplay because I've done it to death, but whatever you guys want, I'm happy to do that. But for the time being, I've decided I'm going to buy Nintendo 64 boxed and complete. And the reason for that is nostalgia. Of course, I had one back then. Loved it, played a ton of GoldenEye, Mario 64, Diddy Kong Racing. GoldenEye was my go-to, used to play that all day long, brilliant game. And I've had a few since I started collecting in 2003, and you've seen them on my YouTube channel since I started doing this in 2009. But, I've had American PAL, Jap. I've never really gone deep into the proper collecting like I did. Well, when I say proper collecting, I mean like my American Super Nintendo collection. I've never gone that deep. Now, the N64 hasn't got the library for that to happen, but it's still going to give me quite a lot of games to fill these shelves up with. So I will eventually need to buy new bookcases, of course, and these will have to go taller, and then I'll have to try and figure out some more space in the room, because this room is tiny. So I'm going to have to find another place to put a bookcase or some shelving or something, because I've got all my Xbox. I've still got to buy more Xbox. I've still got more PS1 and 2 to get, a couple of PS3 to buy as well. My Atari collection will grow over time. Yes, it's it's getting interesting, but yeah. So the N64, as I got nostalgia attached to it. I've had the consoles through collecting, but I've never really collected for it. And over the last few years, the last time I had one was about 6 or 7 years ago. I had an N64 last. So it's been a good while since I owned one. And I had the RGB one, which was just incredible. I mean, that's a must if you got an N64. But the plan really came about because there is a game on the system that is exclusive. I played it years ago and absolutely loved it. It's from one of my favourite series of games, and I've wanted to go back to it and play it over and over again. And I've never got around to buying an N64 because I've always thought, do I really want to buy it just for this one game? Is it worth it? Are the prices going to be crazy like the Super Nintendo? It's really not going to be good if it is, because I won't be able to do it. And I looked into the game, and as it happens, no, the prices haven't really fluctuated on it at all. At the moment, there are a couple of jokers taking the piss and really raising the price beyond belief, but there are a lot of people who are not doing that, and they're keeping the price where it should be. So that's a good sign. And when I started looking into the library, there are a lot of games that I've never played on the system that I'd like to play, whether that's Nintendo first party or it's third party, or it's games that are cross-platform with PS1 that I'd love to check out and see how they compare to the PlayStation version. So it really started appealing to me quite a lot. And as I say, I have all the nostalgia attached to the console. I love the console. The controller for me is one of the best ever made. I really love the Nintendo 64 controller. And when I started looking through the prices of everything, the games are actually surprisingly affordable. Now, they're not cheap. We're not talking PlayStation 2 prices here. But compared to buying Super Nintendo box games, these are a lot more affordable. And it's a really great way to get that hit, that excitement having boxed cardboard cartridge games back on the shelf again in box protectors. And you know me, if you watch me for a long time, you know I love all that. So without further ado, let's just crack on and get on with the pickup, shall we? So I've got 5 games to show you. As and when I get more games, I'll stack them up and maybe do pickup videos of 5, maybe 6 or 7. I don't know. I'm not going to go mad and do like 10 or 15 because that would just be ridiculous. Plus, it would just take too long to make pickup videos. It'd be like 6 months between pickups or a year or something. I don't know. So yeah, it's a very slow grind. This is, even though the prices are very affordable, I'm also taking my time because I want to make sure I get a good deal. And I don't just jump in and buy games because, oh, look, it's popped up. I want that. It's in good condition. Yeah, it's 20 quid more than what it's worth, but what the hell? I don't want to be one of those people pushing that and, helping those people take the piss with the pricing. So, yeah. Plus, there's plenty of copies of most of the games coming up for sale or already for sale. So, really, it's just a case of setting the price that you're willing to pay and looking for the condition and deciding what you want. Now, just before I do show you the games, and I know you're getting pissed off because I'm not showing you the games at this point, but let's talk about what I'm looking for condition-wise. So I want it boxed, obviously. I'm only looking for, same as Super Nintendo when I used to do American SNES, box, manual, cartridge. If I've got that, I'm happy. If they happen to have precaution leaflets, reg cards, fine, that's a nice bonus, but it's not essential. I wouldn't pay extra for that. If, of course, though, a game comes with a map or a poster or anything like that, and there are enough copies floating around that have those extras and it's not massively expensive compared to the ones that don't have it, then I would pay the extra. I mean, obviously with maps, that's more of an RPG thing, so that probably never affect me. But of course, posters, that might. Right, so that's it. And condition-wise, I just want an honest copy. At this point in 2024, I am not looking to get immaculate and mint. I just want it in a nice condition that isn't falling apart. That'll do me. I'm just basically saying, as long as it hasn't got tears to the box, like big tears, or it hasn't got writing on the box, because we know that like Game Station, that used to write in pen on the box and the manual and the cartridges and the discs, and they're a pain in the arse for doing that. And it hasn't got stickers all over it that I can't get off. As long as it's got no major damage, I'm quite happy. Right, all that said, let's crack on and let's get on with the N64 pickups. Right, first game is the game that I picked up first of all, and the one that really spurred me to even think about doing this. And this came in a bundle of 2 games, which is the second game I'll show you in a minute. But the first game I picked up is an absolutely brilliant one. It is 007, The World Is Not Enough. So this is the game of my favourite Brosnan Bond film. And I'll just show you the condition of it. So it has got some dip in where it's flattened, but that's okay. I'll just show you around the edges. In really nice shape, actually. I'm very happy with this. I paid about £15 less when you work out the bundle separation than the actual going rate that this has been going for years. So I got a really good deal with this. Now, the only downside, if you're going to, there's obviously got edge where all these will have their cardboard. So it has got there, you can probably say, there's a couple of marks there and there, nothing major. And this corner is a bit dented in. So what? It's got the manual and others to pay. I'm not going to take them all out because it's just too much aggravation with cardboard boxes to take them apart and show you everything. But yeah, I love the game. It's brilliant. Really good first-person shooter for me. Probably better than GoldenEye. I know it's sacrilege, but I really love GoldenEye. It's a great game. But really, when you look at the level design and the storytelling in GoldenEye, it is pretty shallow. It's really more about just running and gunning. Whereas World Is Not Enough, they try to flesh it out a bit more. I think it's Eurocom that made this one. And so, they've made a few Bond games over the years, and it's got a lot more story depth to it. The levels are a bit more in-depth and detailed. It's got one of my favourite pistol sound effects. It's absolutely fantastic. I did a gameplay years ago. I did a capture when I was first learning how to capture footage, and I captured a bit of this game and put it up. And I actually watched it again last night. I came across it, and I was like, wow, that's some memories. But yeah, it just reminded me how great the game is. And I've been really getting into James Bond properly like the last few years, because I've always been into the games ever since I was a kid. The first game I played was License to Kill on the Commodore 64. Fantastic game. Very hard from what I can remember, but really good. And I've played all the other Bond games on the other systems, like the consoles, since then. I've got a lot of them in my collection and I absolutely love them. But the films, I never got into the films till 2006 with Casino Royale. Became a big fan of the Daniel Craig era. And then in 2018 went back and watched the Pierce Brosnan films, and I absolutely love that. Brosnan's my favourite Bond. He's absolutely incredible. Love those films. But I never watched all the other films until last year, and for the last few years now, I've been watching, there's two really great YouTubers in the Bond community. One is David Zawitsky, who runs the Bond Experience, phenomenal channel. I'll put links down in the description if you want to check them out. And the other one is Calvin Dyson. David's in America, Calvin's in London. And Calvin does all the video game reviews. And I've watched his review of this game many times now. I watch him every now and again. It's just fantastic, because I always got stuck on the stealth level, never worked it out. And I watched Calvin play it, and he said you can sort of get around it with the stun gun, I think it was. It just kind of lets you get through. You don't have to really be too stealthy. So when I eventually get my N64 in here and I start playing the games, I'm really looking forward to getting into The World Is Not Enough, and hopefully I will be able to get past that level and complete the game. And recently also I've been playing, well, I've just finished again for the multiple, God knows how many time now. I've just beaten Tomorrow Never Dies on PS1, and I'm nearly at the end of World Is Not Enough on PS1 again. And you know, when I play those games, it just more and more at the beginning of the year I was thinking, I need this. I need to get World Is Not Enough on the N64. So yeah. And of course GoldenEye will happen. There's lots of copies of GoldenEye. It's just getting one for the price I'm willing to pay and the condition. I mean, a lot of them, people asking way too much, especially the mint ones. They're just ridiculous, the prices they're asking for it. Right, anyway, so that's the first one, World Is Not Enough. Now that came bundled with a second game, which is obviously classic on the system. I think most people agree is a brilliant game. Perfect Dark. In absolutely fantastic condition. Look at that, I just got a bit of light on it there. Nearly did a retro Dave. I can't do it as good as he can. This one is flat as well, not dipped. Like, it's perfectly like flat. It's a full box, I don't know. It's in good nick, let's put it that way. Right, there we go. So I can't really fault this one actually. I can't see any major edge. There's tiny little bits on the top of there, but I mean, Christ's sake, that's really being picky, isn't it? Fantastic game. Another one I've never completed, by the way. I always got stuck on the stealth section again, like Bond. I'm absolutely terrible at stealth in games, unfortunately. And I remember on this, it was you're in the rain, in the city, there's taxi cabs, like future taxi cabs, and you have to stealth your way into a building, and I could never understand how to do it. I've got a feeling though that I actually did do it once by looking on a YouTube video, but I'm not 100% on that. Because I know I remember playing a level, it's like a Spanish level, and there's like a villa that you have to go around. And I can't remember if that's before or after the stealth. Please let me know, because if anyone, I'm sure you guys would have played this game. But I've never managed to get far enough into the game. I want to get right to the end. I want to see the Area 51 and the grey aliens and all the good stuff. I want to see where the story goes. It's a fantastic shooter, but you know, I was playing it earlier in the year on the Xbox One on the Rare Replay collection, and I was really impressed with it. It's a fantastic game. So yeah, really glad to have Perfect Dark in the collection so early, and it's a very cheap game. It's shocking how cheap it is, to be honest. And considering the condition as well, the condition's excellent. I do think that the seller that I bought these games off, I think he was just trying to get rid of his games. He also had, and I couldn't afford it at the time, which was a real shame, he had Ridge Racer 64, which is a game I really, really want to play. Another one of my favourite series of games. Coupled with World Driver Championship, which I'd never heard of. Looked it up, looks great, looks like a really fun arcade racer like Ridge Racer. He wanted 60 quid for them too. So 30 quid a pop. And if you know the prices, getting Ridge Racer, and it's in, I would have said it was easily 9 out of 10. It was excellent condition. To get it in that good condition for 30 quid, it's unlikely going to happen, I don't think. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I keep looking, and you know, maybe one day. I just don't want to pay those prices that people are asking for it. I'm probably going to have no choice at some point now. Right, next up is a sports title. Now, with sports titles, I like the arcade experience. I want like your Tony Hawk. Jump in, do some tricks, have some fun. You know, a quick in and out. I'm not looking for anything serious where I have to understand the actual sport and how it all, the mechanics and all that. So the first one I've got is 1080 degrees snowboarding. So I've never played this game. From what I understand, it's supposed to be really good. Very flat as well, no dipping, which is excellent. Just show you around. You know, it's unfortunate, the American boxes, I think from what I can remember when I had one, these green and all different colours around the edges, they had loads of different designs and colours, a lot nicer the way they did it. But still, the power boxes still look pretty good. There we go. So the major problem with this one is that there, the crushing in the corner. And obviously we've got quite a bit of edge wear there. But you know what, as I say, I want an honest copy. I don't want a mint copy. I'm just looking for a good quality copy that's in a solid box, hasn't got any major damage to it. And I think that's what I got here. So yeah, I've been watching videos online of it, and it does seem to be a pretty straightforward arcade sports game like Tony Hawk on snowboarding, which is great. Just bombing down mountains, pulling off tricks, Graphics look really, really nice as well. I was watching a video yesterday on Instagram that came up one of the reels, and somebody was playing it on a massive Sony CRT. In fact, I think it was the same CRT that I've got up there, from what I can remember, which is a phenomenal TV in itself. And it looked really, really good, so I'm very much looking forward to playing that. I say I need to get the console. The consoles are quite expensive at the moment. All consoles seem to be over 100 quid, unfortunately, nowadays. So I will do that. And not only that, with the N64, it's not just buying the console. It's buying the console and then getting it RGB modded, which is also expensive as well. So I will just have to put up with crappy composite until I can afford to buy the RGB mod. But I'm definitely getting that done in the future, because I know from experience of having it in the past, it looks incredible and it's worth every penny. Okay, right, next one. We've got 2 more to go. The next one is another fun arcade, well, at least it looks to be, arcadey sports title. That is Excitebike 64. Another nice shape. As you can see, it's got some wear there. Now, I think that is sticker. It's hard to tell because these black boxes, as you probably know, I don't know if the paint comes off, but you tend to get white spots. So that could be what that is, or it could be sticker. I'm not, have a look, what do you think? I'm not certain, but it's about the only minor thing you've really got to think about with this. It's in lovely condition, look. Absolutely brilliant. Really happy with this one. There you go, a bit of screenshot on the back. So yeah, it's got that sticker, and it's got around the back there. Can you see that? Put it that way around. Yeah, it's got some, where is it there? So all along that edge there. But again, that's not a problem, is it? I mean, these are like 20, 30 years old. You know, you really can't argue. Just the fact that the box is intact and not falling apart is the important part, isn't it? So yeah, this looks like to be a straightforward arcade motocross style game. I looked at some gameplay. It looks really fun. I've never played one. I know there's a game on the NES. There's a game on the NES Remix Pack that came out a few years ago, and it looks really, really good. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one. I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, I'll wait and see. I mean, when I get the console, then I can obviously do capturing and things. And if you want me to, guys, just let me know. I can do videos for these, because obviously I've never really done N64 gameplay. There's a couple on my channel, like Sin and Punishment. I did a little bit of The World Is Not Enough back in the day, and I think there's like little clips and things of Diddy Kong racing, but it'd be better now because I can actually capture them properly instead of just shooting the TV, which would be nice. So if you do want to see that in the future when I get the console, let me know, and I will do that. I will do some like 10-minute gameplays or something. And it'd be good for things like 1080 snowboarding and Excitebike, because I can actually give my actual impressions for the first time playing them as well. Right, the last game. Okay, sorry about that. I've reached my limit on these phones. Are great, and this SD card 4 gig limit bullshit. You gotta love that. So I wasn't sure if it was continuing to record or we cut out, but I think it's still continuing. So hopefully this is going to work. Right, okay. Christ, bloody technology nowadays is worse than it was when I was a kid. Anyway, last game is another sports-ish title. It's a racing game this time, and this is one that's on the PlayStation as well. As I said earlier, or at least I think I did say earlier, I hope I did. I want to get some of the cross-platform games on the PlayStation. I want to see how they compare to the PS1 version. And this one was one I was looking for. Kept seeing it come up. There's a few copies coming up, all in pretty rough condition. And from what I could gather, it was supposed to come with a poster, and that limited it down to about 2 or 3 copies at the time that had posters, not in good condition. This one popped up in much better condition with the poster, a little bit more money, and I thought, I'm grabbing that. And it is V-Rally 99 edition. Lovely cover. I know it's 2 cards, but look at all the bright colours. Fantastic. And this is in lovely shape. Has got some dipping, unfortunately, but again, not a major problem, is it really? That's just me being anal. There you go. And has he got any major... Yeah, there's a slight thing. There's one of those like little bits there. So nothing really. There you go. Absolutely fantastic condition. As I say, comes with the manual, got all the paperwork in there. I think the only thing it's missing is a reg card. It's got precautions, manual, cart, and the poster, so I'm really happy. I'm really excited to try this one out because the PS1 game comes in 2 flavours. You get the Platinum Edition and you get the Black Label. Black Label only lets you use a D-pad, Platinum lets you use analog, but analog is terrible on PlayStation. The car just swerves all over the road and I couldn't control it. D-pad is not much better, but it's a little bit tighter. So I'm hoping that when I play the V-Rally on the N64, when that game, I'm assuming, because I think the PS1 was called 97 and this one's 99, that there's at least a year or two, because obviously like the FIFA and that, they come out a year before that, don't they? So I'm hoping they've had time to tighten their controls for the N64 and made the analog stick really tight so that the car can be better controlled than the PS1 version. Or it could be a total mess like the PS1, we'll wait and see. I'm also just interested to see how the graphics compare, if they're, because it's 64-bit as opposed to 32-bit, did they just port it over and up, slightly increase the resolution, or did they make an effort to take advantage of the N64? We'll wait and see. But I will do a video for that as well when I eventually get my N64 console to play the games. So there you go, guys. That's the first 5 for the N64. As I say, there are a lot more coming up. When I buy the games, I will be posting pickup videos, but they won't be very regular. They will be when I've got enough games like this, when I've got about 5 games or more to do a video. Maybe I might even just keep it to 5, because I think that's enough for a video, because otherwise it stretches the video and it'll go on for too long. But yeah, I think that'll be enough. So yes, when I've got enough, I'll make more videos. In terms of what I want to buy, I mean, there's a lot of games I want to buy. A lot of Nintendo stuff, obviously the Mario games and that essential. Wave Race, absolutely. There's a lot of PS1 games I want to get, the Tony Hawk games, so I've got V-Rally already. I want to try, some of the big ones that I really want to try for me are Ridge Racer 64. I'm dying to play. It's one of the only Ridge Racer console games I've never played. It looks fantastic. Doom 64, as far as I understand, it's a custom built version for the N64, so I absolutely want to try that. And one that caught my eye recently, which I didn't even know had a console version, is Quake, the first one. Now, I played it on PC in the 90s and loved it, but I wasn't aware there was a console version. And then the other night, a video came up on YouTube. It was recommended to me by an American guy I've never seen before. And his videos, he just sits next to a massive Magnavox CRT TV and plays games and gives his thoughts. Brilliant videos. And the first one that came up was him playing Quake on N64, and I was absolutely blown away. The game looks gorgeous, beautiful colours, incredible particle effects, sound effects are really, really good in it. The frame rate was really smooth. I'm hoping the PAL one is optimised so it's as smooth as the NTSC version, but yeah, it looked great. And as he was playing it, he was talking about it, and he was saying how much of a big fan he is of the PC version. By the end of the video, he was saying he preferred the N64, and I thought, well, that's some praise. It must be a really good port of the game, port or build. I don't know how they did it, but it must be really good. You can also get Quake 2 as well, so I want to get both of those, because I played Quake 2 on PS1 back in the day, loved it. So I've got to get it on PS1 anyway for nostalgia, but I would like to get the N64 and compare the two as well. The first Quake, though, I will be honest, it's a bit tough to get. There's a lot of copies getting listed, and they're all 30 quid around there. Some are a little bit more, but majority are 30 quid. The boxes, though, all around the edge of the box is rough. It's all worn down. It's really hard to get one in really good shape. So fingers crossed again. Maybe that will happen. Well, it will eventually. I'll just have to be patient. I've got a save search, so we'll see. And maybe you'll see it in an upcoming pickup video. Right, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it all. I hope you like the idea of this going forward. Of course, if you want to see more, just subscribe to the channel and you'll be able to follow this collection. And of course, all the other videos will still be coming for PS1, 2 and 3, Xbox and whatever else I decide to pick up as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Leave your comments down below and I'll see you in the next video.